All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Demi Keller. This is Trevor Boucher, owner and CEO. We're Impact of Oregon. Today, we're going to just kind of go into choosing an agency to provide supports for your family or your loved one.
One of the most important things are what's their reputation in the community. That's important. Have they been in the community for a while? Do they have a reputation for providing good services?
Okay.
So another thing that you might be looking for when you're selecting an agency is, what is their pay like? You definitely want an agency that's paying at the upper end of the pay scale.
Right.
Paying at the upper end of the pay scale, you're going to have DSPs, direct support professionals, that are earning a living wage, and that's going to make them more reliable, more
Eager?
no, loyal. Yeah, happy and loyal. So you want somebody that's paying at the top of the pay scale. 24 hours seems to be at the top of the pay scale to start.
Yeah.
When someone's earning $24 an hour, they're making a living wage. They're going to be happier and loyal, and hopefully more consistent.
Right. And if I have a family member, for, say I had a loved one that I was getting services provided for, is it an option to have a family member work for my loved one as their?
That's a great question. So if the person receiving supports is 18 or over, it can be the parents being the DSP, the paid DSP.
Yeah.
If the person receiving reports is under 18, it can be anybody but the parents. So it can be a sibling that's 18 or over, grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, family, friends, anybody but the parents.
That makes a big difference for the entire family to not only get those supports, but also have like an income from it, wouldn't you say?
Right. Yeah, a lot of times the parents, you've only got one parent that can go out into the workforce. The other parent is staying home, caring for the individual with the disability. And so you essentially become a one-income household, and that can be very challenging. And so the fact that once the child is 18, that parent that's normally staying home can become a paid provider, that's huge for the family.
What are some other things that make Impact stand out or that are common in this industry that people should look for?
How involved is the agency in the community outside of the services they provide? Are they sponsoring Special Olympics or baseball leagues or things of that nature that are equates into more resources for people with disabilities?
Okay. What would you say is one of the biggest contributors to having your name known in this industry or having an agency? What are
doing things right, doing things well. How responsive is your staff when a DSP is having issues with technology or clocking in or things of that nature? How responsive are you to the family when the family is saying, this particular DSP might not be a great fit? How quickly are you going to roll up your sleeves and find someone who is a good fit? How well do you communicate those things?
Are events something that are super common? Are there a lot of agencies that hold specific events for their?
I think there are some agencies that do a couple events a year out there. We try to look more inward as far as to what we're doing and the services that we provide. And it is true that events are very important to us, and we do them on a very regular basis.
Excellent. What do you think is, as a family member who's looking for someone to come in and provide services, what if I don't want my family member to be, or my friend to be a DSP? Or
that's a great question. When we hire DSPs, we have them fill out a bio. And then also when we onboard new customers, we get the info on the customer, what their likes and dislikes are. And so with that information, we're able to kind of pair people that have similar interests, which seems to work well.
And can that include just staying home and working on, our daily living skills, or is there a lot of community involvement as well with that?
It all boils down to what's in the individual support plan, the ISP. If there's items in the ISP that deal with getting the individual out into the community, then by all means, they can take them out into the community. If there's items in the ISP that talk about improving independent living skills, then that's something that they can work on. But it all goes back to what's in the ISP. That's what the DSP has to work on.
Right. Okay. And in terms of respite care, is that something that families should be looking into when they're selecting an agency?
Yes, that's another great question. Not all agencies offer respite care. Respite care is a 24-hour shift, can be used 2 days in a row on a weekend to give a family that's been providing supports for their family member a time to get away for a weekend. We've had one couple that hadn't been away in 22 years because they've just been at home focusing on providing the best support possible for their son. And through respite care, they were actually able to get away and relax and do something just for themselves, which was greatly needed.
Yeah, absolutely. I know as you know, in my role, I've helped talk to DSPs that are going to be providing respite for, a long term, more than a day or two, or providing care for a day or two while the parent's out of town, and they have another customer as well. And we've kind of helped them navigate how they're going to do that, where they're still able to provide services for both of the people that they support, but still.
Yeah, you definitely have to do it. As Express is the system that the state uses for billing. So there are certain rules when you're using respite care versus attendant care, and make sure that there's no overlap. So it can be a challenge, but yeah, we will assist the family to kind of set that up and give them an outline of what to follow.
What are the questions that you get often when families are calling?
Yeah, well, of course, everyone asks what we pay. We start at $24 an hour, but there are we want to make sure that their employees are being paid on time.
Yeah,
that's important. If you're going to keep someone engaged and consistent, they need to be paid on time.
Absolutely.
We've had families come to us that say that they've been with another agency and that they've been on a waiting list to have a DSP for 10 months to a year, and that they never hear back from the agency. So we really pride ourselves in communication. If we don't have a fit right then at the moment, we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves and hire someone just for that specific customer. But at the same time, during that process, we're occasionally reaching out and saying, look, we haven't forgot about you. We don't have somebody right now, but we're working on it. And that means the world to families to know that we haven't forgot and that we are still working on it.
That shows a lot of integrity, too, and a lot of pride that we're trying really hard to do what we're here to do.
Right. We always want to follow through with what we said we'll do.
Absolutely. Is there any other thoughts or stories that you have that kind of go in line with choosing an agency, or feedback that you've heard that we've improved on since then?
Well, people, they love the events that we do, of course, and we're very proud of that. We're proud to offer the $24 an hour starting. That can be life-changing for some families. We love hearing stories of DSPs making progress with the customer they're providing supports for. But to tell another story, we have a grandma who's the primary provider, DSP, for her granddaughter. And so she's a veteran. She was in the Marines when she was younger. But she's been able to use her VA loan since she's been working with us and able to actually buy a house.
Yeah.
So she's going to be moving with her granddaughter and daughter into a new house. It's a very modest house, but it's their house, and they're ecstatic and happy to have it.
And they have so much more room and so much more freedom to just be able to have.
They have more elbow room. It's safer. The duplex they were in was very small hallways, and to be quite honest, if there was a fire, it would have been catastrophic to get the granddaughter out of there having cerebral palsy in a timely fashion. So where they're at is much safer. That's
really good to hear. I'm glad that they're able to do that and have those improvements for all of them, their entire family.
Yep. That's a story that we love to share.
Absolutely. So I guess kind of to sum it all up, bottom line is don't be afraid to do your research, call multiple agencies, talk to people, ask questions. There's never anything wrong with asking questions and getting the answers that you need in order to feel comfortable. You can always reach out to us at our through our website or our phone number here, and we hope to hear from you, absolutely. But we also understand that you have to do your due diligence in finding the best fit for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an important decision. We're always here to consult and guide, but yeah, we respect anyone's choice, no matter where they decide to go. We always hope they come to us, but we'll guide them and tell them about us and make sure when they're choosing, they're making an informed decision.
Absolutely. All right. That's all for today. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.